Lakay, subtitled A True-to-Life Story of P/Cal Juanito Legasca, is a 1992 Filipino action film directed by Nilo Saiz, written by Jose Carrion, and starring Fernando Poe Jr. as the titular police colonel. It also stars Charo Santos, Rina Reyes, Efron Reyes Jr., Jose Romulo, Philip Gamboa, Romy Diaz, Mato Locsin, Flexi Sart, and Fred Moore de los Santos. Produced by GP Films, the film was released on November 4, 1992. Cast: Fernando Poe Jr. as P/Colonel Juanito Lakay Legasca. Charo Santos, Rina Reyes, Efron Reyes Jr. as Leonardo Wawai de los Reyes, Jose Romulo, Philip Gamboa, Romy Diaz, Mato Locsin, Flexi Sart, Fred Moore de los Santos, Honey David, Ronnie Oliva, Abel Monadu, Efren Bilardo, Bert Guerin, Buddy Data, Renee Hawkins, Danny Riel, Jess Vargas, Terso Mediavillo, Mario Cavero, Renato Tenchinko, Lucida Soriano, Odette Khan, Marithez Sanson, Nady Santiago, Ramon D. Salva as Congressman, Birding Labra, Ramo Valdez, Vic Varian, Eddie Arenas, Michael Murray, Nanding Fernandez, Ani Ortega, Jamino Butch Bautista, Alfred Salta, Jimmy Reyes, Bibena Mora, Chris Delos, Ani Forte, Nimi Gutierrez, Tony Chacorda, Nonoe de Guzman, Johnny Vica. Production: Ronnie Poe is my only choice. Not only because he happens to be the longtime movie king and my favorite actor, but more of his screen impact. I believe Ronnie truly projects a man of principles, a fearless fighter of the oppressed, which I fought for when I was active in service. Juanito Legasca, 1. Retired Officer Juanito Legasca gave his approval to a film adaptation of his story once George Pascual of GP Films assured that Fernando Poe Jr. was cast in his role. 1. Release: Lakay was released in the Philippines on November 4, 1992. Fernando Poe Jr., born Ronald Allen Kelly Poe, August 20, 1939 to December 14, 2004, was a Filipino actor, director, and screenwriter. Nickname, The King, and often referred to by his initials FPJ, he has been described as a cultural icon, having dominated the Philippine box office from the 1960s to 1990s through his leading roles in action films. For his career that spanned nearly 5 decades, he has received numerous honors including the Order of National Artists of the Philippines in 2006, the Presidential Medal of Merit in 2004, and the CCP Centennial Honors for the Arts in 1999, 2, 3. Poe appeared in around 300 films from 1955 to 2003, then 1. Poe entered the film industry as a stuntman following the death of his father, actor Fernando Poe Sr., and made his film debut in 1955 with Henok and I Palaris, a sequel to a film that starred his father. His breakout came in the 1956 film Low Waist Gang and went on to star in action films that portrayed him as the champion and defender of the poor and oppressed. 6. His notable films include Only the Brave Know How, 1965, Lino Brocas Santiago. 1970, Celso ad Castillos Asadillo, 1971, Batola sa Buhangan, 1976, Dirigen Si Totally Bato, 1979, Eddie Romero's Adila, 1980, his self-directed On Ponde, 1980, and its sequels, Roman Rapido and the Sane Bala Kaulan. Both 1983, the 1986 films Ayo ang Tanda, Kanya ang Kavida, Muslim .357, and Bat ang Quiapo, Kate Konting Paktian, 1990, Ang Provinciano, 1996, Hisasambang Tita Sa Tari Ko, 1999, and Ang Dalapesa, 2000. 7. Poe's accolades include 5 FAMAS Awards for Best Actor, and 2, the joint record, then 3, that inducted him into the FAMAS Hall of Fame in 1988. He also won Best Director for his films on Padrino, 1984, and Kate Butas in Karyam, Papasakan Ko, 1995. Date, in 2004, FAMAS posthumously granted him the Natatanging Alagating Shining Award. Poe was also posthumously declared a National Artist of the Philippines in 2006, accepted by his family in 2012. 9. Poe ran for President of the Philippines in the 2004 election. He lost to the incumbent Gloria Macapagal Arroyo by just over 1 million votes, 3.48%, the closest margin by percentage between the winner and runner-up in the history of Philippine presidential elections. 7 months after the election, Poe died of a stroke. Hundreds of thousands attended his wake and funeral. 10-11. Poe was married to actress Susan Rosas, who played his on-screen love interest in 17 films. 3. He is the father of Senator Grace Poe and actress Lovie Poe. Early life and education. Ronald Allen Kelly Poe was the son of Filipino actor and director Fernando Poe Sr., born Alan Fernando Poe y Reyes, 1916–1951, from San Carlos, Pangasinan, and Elizabeth Bessie Kelly, 1918–1999. He was born in Manila on August 20, 1939. He was known as Ronnie to his family. His parents, at the time of his birth, were not legally married until 1940. In 2004, post-political opponents tried to derail his bid for the 2004 Philippine presidency when they sought to disqualify him as an illegitimate son of a non-Filipino mother. He was the second among 6 siblings, including Andy, born Fernando Kelly Poe Jr., 1943–1995, 12, whose given name was used by Poe as his own professional name to bank on the popularity of his father, who was a top actor in his time. Conrad Poe was Poe's half-brother, the illegitimate son of Fernando Poe Sr. and actress Patricia Maharas. The original spelling of the family's surname was Poe, from his paternal grandfather, playwright Lorenzo Poe, a Catalan migrant from Majorca, Spain, who ventured into mining and business in the Philippines. In 1953, Poe finished his primary education at San Beda College. For high school, he attended San Sebastian College. He continued his education at Mapua Institute of Technology and University of the East and took the course Theater Arts. When his father died from rabies at age 34, Poe became the family's breadwinner. In order to support his family, he dropped out of the University of the East during his sophomore year. 13. Film career. Poe dropped out of college to work in the Philippine film industry as a messenger boy, and was given acting roles in subsequent years. 14. Starting as a stuntman for Everlasting Pictures, he was given a starring role in the film Anak and I Palares, Son of Palares, at the age of 14. The film, however, was not a big hit. In 1956, the film Low Waist Dang made him popular. 14, and the film was such a hit that low-waist pants became a fad. Also known as FPJ from his initials, Poe acted in a number of films which depicted him as the champion of the poor and downtrodden. He also directed films under the pseudonyms Flanner and Romualdo Reyes. Reyes originated from the surname of his paternal grandmother, Martha. He established FPJ Productions in 1961 and later organized other film companies. In 1963, he testified against criminal gangs, known as the Big Four, who extorted money from the film industry. In 1965, he shared the lead in The Ravagers. In the Philippines, this is titled Only the Brave Know Hell, a film depicting the United States and the Philippines working together against Japanese wartime occupation. The film is considered one of the most influential Filipino films. Poe won the most Best Actor awards at the FAMAS, citation needed. Among the films that received awards were Nga Alabak sa Lupa, 1967, Asadillo, 1971, Dirigen si Totoy Bato, 1979, Pisahanemo, Tatapusan Ko, 1983, and Muslim.357, 1986. Poe was one of the highest-paid film actors in the Philippines in the 1980s, alongside Dolphy and Vilma Santos, with his salary reaching over 1 million pesos per film. 15. In 1988, Poe partnered with San Miguel Corporation in a near 27 million Cuban pesos promotional deal for San Miguel beer. 16. His first endorsement of a product in his entire film career, with the first television commercial airing on January 20, 17. In mid-1993, Poe was then set to star in a film produced by Viva Films and directed by Pablo Santiago titled Talaking Bibig, Kabiging Dibdib, with Alice Dixon cast as the female lead, though it did not come to fruition. 18. Among his roles were Flavio in the Ponde fantasy series, Kade Konting Paktingin, Dito sa Pitong Gatang and Nagila. His last film, Partners, also stars 9-ball billiards champion Efron Reyes. Political career. 2004 presidential bid. Main article, Fernando Poe Jr. 2004 presidential campaign. Fernando Poe Jr. was the Coalición ng Nagkakaisang Pilipino, KNP's candidate for the 2004 presidential election. He accepted nomination in December 2003 and was to be the opposition candidate in the Philippines 2004 presidential election. 19. Personal life. Poe married actress Susan Rosas, the professional name of Jesusa Sonora, in a civil wedding in December 1968. They later married in a religious service, and among their primary sponsors were then President Ferdinand Marcos and First Lady Imelda. Poe and Rosas adopted a daughter, Grace Poe, who became a senator. Poe was very reclusive about his personal life. However, in February 2004, during the presidential campaign, Poe admitted to having fathered 2 children out of wedlock. 20. He had an affair with actress Anna Marin and had 1 son, Ronian, and with former actress Rowena Moran and had a daughter, Lord Virginia. Poe was also known horse owner and horse racing enthusiast. 21. Death and legacy. Tomb of Poe and his wife Susan Rosas at the Manila North Cemetery. FPJ Studios along Del Monte Avenue, Quezon City in 2022. Poe was admitted to St. Luke's Medical Center in Quezon City in the evening of December 11, 2004, after complaining of dizziness at a gathering in his production studio during a Christmas party. 22. He suffered from a stroke and slipped into a coma while being treated for a brain clot. Doctors described his condition as a cerebral thrombosis with multiple organ failure. 23. He died at the age of 65 on December 14 at 12:01 a.m. Philippine time, UTC plus 8 o'clock, without regaining consciousness. 23. His remains were initially transferred to the Arlington East Memorial Chapels in Pasig, now known as the Evergreen Memorial Chapels, before being transferred a day later to the Santo Domingo Church in Quezon City. 24. 25. Organizers of the 9-day wake claimed numbers as high as 2 million. 26. The Funeral procession drew tens of thousands who crowded the streets of Quezon City, an event which drew comparisons to the funeral processions of former Senator Ninoy Aquino in August 1983, who also had his wake held at the Santo Domingo Church, and of actress Julie Veda in May 1985. He was buried in his family plot along with his parents in the Manila North Cemetery. On December 14, 2012, 8 years after his death, a monument to Poe was erected at the corner of Roxas Boulevard and Artesia Street in Ermita, Manila, with widow Susan Rosas and daughter Grace Poe attending the unveiling. 27. On January 13, 2022, President Rodrigo Duterte signed Republic Act No. 11608, renaming Roosevelt Avenue in Quezon City as Fernando Poe Jr. Avenue. 28. On his 84th birth anniversary on August 20, 2023, Roosevelt Station of LRT Line 1 in Quezon City was renamed Fernando Poe Jr. Station. FPJ Arena, a sports arena in San Jose, Batangas, also named in his honor, was inaugurated. 29. 30. In 2013, Tonton Gutierrez portrayed Fernando Poe Jr. in the life story of Poe's daughter Grace Poe, depicted by Eric Gonzalez, on Malala Mo Kaya. 31. In 2015, his 1997 film On Provinciano was remade by ABS-CBN into a TV series, starring Coco Martin as the main character to portray twins, namely SPL1 Ricardo, Cardo, Dallas and Police Seniors, Dominator, Adair, De Leon together with Susan Rosas, FPJ's widow. 32, 33. The FPJ Film Archives has been inscribed in the National Memory of the World Register of the Philippines. 34. In horse racing, Poe was posthumously inducted in the Philippine Racing Commission, PhilRacom, Hall of Fame in 2023 for promoting the discipline through his films. 35. The main road within the Metroturf Racecourse Complex in Batangas was also named after Poe Maria Rosario Charo Santos-Concio, Tagalog, Ta Santos No, born October 27, 1955, is a Filipino actress and former media executive. She is the host of Malala Mo Kaya, the longest-running television drama anthology in the Philippines. From 2012 to 2016, she was the Chief Executive Officer of ABS-CBN Corporation, the largest entertainment and media conglomerate in the Philippines. She is Chief Content Officer and President of the ABS-CBN network. Santos-Concio plays a role in TV and film production in the Philippines. 1. On March 3, 2008, she was promoted as the fifth president of ABS-CBN Corporation and in charge of the company's total business portfolio, taking over from interim president Eugenio Lopez III. She took over as CEO after Lopez retired on December 31, 2015. 2. Early and personal life. Santos-Concio was born to Winifredo Santos, a physician, and Nora Navarro Santos, with children Mila, the wife of Edgar Mortiz, Suzanne Santos, Malawen Santos, Joey Santos, and May Santos. 3. She grew up in Calapan, Oriental Mindoro, where she was discovered by the famous, citation needed, 1970s fashion designer Rita Jimenez, who asked her to participate in fashion shows and was crowned Miss Calapan. She first met her would-be husband Cesar Concio Jr., born 1931, when she was hired as a print ad model for his company. She later married him amid a 24-year age gap at an intimate ceremony held at Pebble Beach, California, on November 9, 1982. 4. They had 2 children, Cesar Francis and Rafael Martin. Talia and Julia are the daughters of Francis and wife Kyla. Julia, Talia, and Busty are their grandchildren. Lakay is the son of Martin Concio and his wife Estacy. 5. 6. Concio Jr. got infected by COVID-19 and died on October 7, 2023, at age 91. 7. Career. Santos-Concio was first noticed by the media as barren travel girl in 1976. She also worked as a production assistant pre-martial law with Radio Philippines Network. In the 1980s, Santos-Concio produced a number of films, such as Oral, Plata, Mata and Himala under the experimental cinema of the Philippines. She also was the creative force behind the productions of Vanguard Films and Vision Films before moving to Regal Films. She established herself as an award-winning dramatic actress early in her career, winning the trophy for her performance in Mike de Leon's Item during the 1977 Asian Film Festival. She was critically acclaimed for her performance in Lino Brocka's 1990 film Gumapang Ka Sa Lusa, which won several awards including a Best Director FAMAS for Brocka. Santos has also won 4 FAMAS Award nominations. She obtained 2 Best Actress nominations for Pag-ibig na Walang Dangal, 1980, and Controversial, 1981, and Best Supporting Actress nominations for Gumapang Ka Sa Lusa, 1990, and Miss Delora X, 1993. She also earned 3 Gawad Urian nominations for The Woman Who Left, Gumapang Ka Sa Lusa, and Item. In 1987, while working for Regal Films and hosting Eat Bulaga on RPN, she was invited to join the new ABS-CBN, which had reopened on September 14, 1986. Santos-Concio was promoted from production manager to program director to executive vice president. She is credited in the production of several phenomenal television series of ABS-CBN including Esperanza, Mula sa Pusil, Tengako sa Hio, and Kay Tagal Kong Hininte. Her film background played an important role in the creation of Star Cinema. She is also behind the longest-running Philippine TV drama anthology program Malala Mo Kaya, which she has hosted since it premiered in 1991. On December 26, 2007, the Film Academy of the Philippines, FAP, awarded Santos-Concio with the Manuel de Leon Award for her work in the industry. 8. On March 1, 2008, she was appointed as the 5th president of ABS-CBN, making her the first woman president of the media conglomerate and the Lopez Group of companies. On January 1, 2016, Santos-Concio stepped down as president and CEO of ABS-CBN Corporation and was succeeded by Kylo Katadbak, the chief operating officer of the company at that time. She is currently the Chief Content Officer of ABS-CBN Corporation and the President of ABS-CBN University. On May 30, 2024, ABS-CBN's Board of Directors elected Santos-Concio as a director, in place of Augusto Almeida Lopez, who died. Efron Montes Reyes Jr., born June 25, 1961, is a Filipino actor known for his roles in action films. The son of Efron Reyes Sr., he is also a writer and director. Reyes was first introduced as a child actor in the movie Estanita 29 in 1968, then later he became an action star in the 1980s, and then took roles as either a main villain or as a supporting character from 1989 up to the present in Philippine films and television series. Early life. Reyes was born on June 25, 1961, in Baguio. Citation needed. He is a fourth-generation artist, being the son of the late actor, writer, director, and film producer Efron Reyes Sr. and actress Virginia Montes. 1. He is the brother of actress Cristina Reyes. He is the nephew of actors Johnny Reyes and Tessie Quintana, the grandson of writer Pedrito Reyes, and is the great-grandson of playwright Severino Reyes, who is also known as Lola Bayon, and is called the father of Philippine Sarsuela. 2. His cousin, James Reyes, was a successful fashion designer. 3. Career. Reyes portrays a lead role in an action films of early 1980s such Forsiga, Anna King Maiden, Mascarado, and Pepin Carbon. He works for his team-up with Jess Lapid Jr. in Calawit Brothers, with Vic Vardas in Udol, with Bembo Rocco and Tony Ferrer in Over My Dead Body, Roy Flores in Didman sa Pagitaning Langit at Lupa, Ramon Zamora and Muhammad Faisal in Operation Central Luzon, and Rina Imperial and Bembo Rocco in Sidu Brothers. In his last lead roles in an action films Titbos na ang Lahiemo, Haju Jakiri in 1990 and Nestor Solis, Hariing Oxo in 1995. Then he played villain roles for 4 straight films in Isasumpa Mo Anara non Isalan Ka, Tataking Asang API, Dalima Gang, and Humingna Kahangak Gusto Mo. As not to be typecast as a villain, he took the lead role in the film Among Mercenario, 4. In 1994, he also starred in Tapon Kong Tapon, which was led by Lido Lapid and Cynthia Luster, and in the comedy Megamo, 5, 6. In 1998, he played Princess Punzalan's husband in the series Niula sa Puso, 7. In 2001, Reyes Jr. played the villain alongside Dick Israel in the film Kardal Las, Huwad Ka Nang Humorit, 8. In 2002, he joined the cast of the series Bituin, which starred Nora Honor, 9. In 2008, he joined the cast of MMFF entry Anak in Kumander, 10. In 2012, Reyes Jr. played Farid Ghazi, a rival clan head in the action film Muslim Magnum .357, To Serve and Protect, a remake of the 1986 film Muslim .357, 11. In 2016, he joined the cast of the series Tubig at Langus, the remake of the 1980 film of the same name, 12. He also appeared in the action series Ang Provinciano along with other former action stars, 13. He then played Mayor Rodrigo Duterte in the biopic Bato, the General Ronald De La Rosa story, 14. In 2020, Reyes Jr. joined the cast of the superhero series Bella Bandita, 15. In 2024, Reyes wrote and directed the biographical film Idol, the April Boy Regino story, 16. Political views. In 2004, Reyes Jr. supported Fernando Poe Jr.'s presidential campaign, 17. The year later, he joined other actors including Susan Rosas, the widow of Poe Jr., Gladys Guevara, Richard Gomez, and more in a rally calling for the resignation of President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo. The cinema of the Philippines, began with the introduction of the first moving pictures to the country on August 31, 1897, at the Salon de Pradiera in Manila. The following year, local scenes were shot on film for the first time by a Spaniard, Antonio Ramos, using the Lumiere cinematograph. 1. While most early filmmakers and producers in the country were mostly wealthy enterprising foreigners and expatriates, on September 12, 1919, Dalagan Bukid, Country Maiden, a film based on a popular zarzuela, was the first movie made and shown by Filipino filmmaker Jose Nepomuceno. 2. Dubbed as the father of Philippine cinema, his work marked the start of cinema as an art form in the Philippines. 3. Even with the problems currently facing motion pictures around the world, films are still considered one of the popular forms of entertainment among the Filipino people, directly employing some 260,000 Filipinos and generating around 2 billion Cuban pesos revenues annually. 4. Among its neighbors in Southeast Asia, Philippine cinema remains as the strongest in the Southeast Asian region, with the majority of films made in the region came from the Philippines along with the film industries of Thailand and Indonesia. The Film Development Council of the Philippines established a National Film Archive in October 2011. 5. Furthermore, their annually held Luna Awards honor the outstanding Filipino films as voted by their own peers. Meanwhile, the Manginuri in Pelikulan Pilipino hands out the Gawad Urian Awards, which is well known due to its credible choices of winners. Overview. Eddie Romero, renowned Filipino film director, producer, and screenwriter. Cinema of the Philippines. The formative years of Philippine cinema, starting from the 1930s, were a time of discovering the film genre as a new medium of art. Scripts and characterizations in films came from popular theater and familiar local literature. Nationalistic films were also quite popular, although they were labeled as being too subversive. The 1940s and the war brought to the Philippine cinema the consciousness of reality. Movie themes consisting primarily of war and heroism had proven to be a huge hit among local audiences. Cinema of the Philippines. NOAA screens 920, 2018, 6. Per capita 0.9 per 100,000, 2013, 6. Main distributors Star Cinema 27.1%. UIP 17%. Disney 16.1%, 7. Produced feature films, 2013, 8. Total 53.